So today I'm in West Columbia, Texas, and on the surface it just looks like an average Texas town, but it was once much more prominent in the early to mid 1800s. Founded in 1826, then just called Columbia, it's one of the older towns in the state. It served as capital of the Republic of Texas for a few months in late 1836. The first Congress convened in Columbia, and Sam Houston was inaugurated as president in October of 1836. In December, Congress decided to move the capital to Houston as it had more facilities for the government officials. Stephen F. Austin, the father of Texas, died in this town in December of 1836 at the home of George B. McKinstry. From this point forward, West Columbia declined in prominence. This town is home to the Varner-Hogg Plantation and is, in my opinion, the closest thing we have to the spectacular plantation homes and tours in Louisiana. And if you haven't done so, I strongly recommend touring the plantation homes between Baton Rouge and New Orleans along the Mississippi River. Despite the dark history of slavery, this plantation is one of the most peaceful and beautiful places to walk around in this part of Texas. The first time I stood at the entrance, my reaction was, wow. This home was built in 1835 and is named for the first and last owners. This property was originally owned by Martin Varner, one of Stephen Austin's old 300, was one of the settlers of his first colony. He moved here in 1824 and was a veteran of the Texas Revolution. He grew corn and sugarcane here and produced the first alcohol in the colony, rum, which he gave to Stephen Austin as a gift. In 1834, he sold his land to Columbus Patton. Patton's family developed this land into sugarcane plantation. Two members of the Patton family were in the Battle of San Jacinto. William Patton guarded Santa Anna after his capture and even held him prisoner right here for a brief period. This was one of the most productive sugarcane plantations in the area. In 1854, Columbus Patton was declared legally insane and placed in an asylum in South Carolina. John Adriance managed the plantation after this until 1869. So when there were no more slaves to work the land, they turned to convicts of the Texas prison system for labor after the Civil War. In 1900, the Great Galveston Hurricane blew down the sugar house and other buildings. Some of the remains are still here. In 1901, the property was sold to Governor Hogg, and some years afterwards, oil was discovered on the property. The Hogg family made some renovations to the main house, and in 1958, Ima Hogg donated the property to the state of Texas. This beautiful historic building is the Columbia Rosenwald School, which opened for African American students in 1921. Oh great, it's open. This is beautiful inside. So just behind this store is something you gotta see if you come to West Columbia. I don't know how old this tree is, but this massive live oak may have been here at the time Columbia was the capital of Texas. So now I'm in East Columbia, which to me feels a lot like the old South. And this is the site of Carrie Nation's Hotel. Maybe a little hard to read. There are a handful of gorgeous historic homes here in East Columbia. This is the Underwood house with a cabin right next door, which we'll see in just a second. Built in 1835. This is one of the oldest homes in Texas. Wow, it is actually open. This room is dedicated to Laura Underwood, the last person in the family to live here. It is a rare treat to have a home with this much historical significance open for you to explore on your own. There is one room here that looks unfinished. And right next to the Underwood house here is the historic log cabin. Built just after 1833. And right across the street, the sign says the Ayoc Cruise House Bed and Breakfast. Not sure if it's open for business, but boy, it is beautiful. Such a lovely, peaceful setting right here along the Brazos River. So this must have been one of the first gun shops in Texas. So this is the beautiful 1872 Tyler Bryan Weems house. Just to the south of town is the Hanson Riverside County Park. And there are a series of trails here, and the one that caught my attention is the Palmetto Trail. So here's a map to show you the network of trails. It looks really nice. So we started here, hiked this section of the Palmetto Trail. So now we're going to explore a little bit of this area, see what it looks like. Plenty of opportunity here. These trails feature the Texas sable miner, one of 3 members of the palm family native to the state. And as you can see, this one is in bloom right now. They get 8 feet or so in height. So West Columbia is very near the coast of Texas. And so this being a hurricane-prone area, you'll see several trees that are leaning over or have completely been blown over. A sign of the many hurricanes that have passed through this area over the years. Watch out for these guys when you're hiking through here. So before we leave, we're going to get a quick look at the San Bernard River. So right along the river here is a beautiful stretch of park and trail. Plenty of shade, lots of picnic tables. Great place to go fishing and then maybe have a picnic. One thing to remember though, be sure to bring your mosquito spray, but don't let that deter you. This is a beautiful park. Here we can get a good look at the river. This might actually be a good place to put a kayak in. Go for a little paddle. Plenty of gorgeous oak trees along the river here, but the one just ahead caught my attention. Look at that poor tree. Looks like it'd be fun to climb on. Gorgeous. It's a kid's dream.